Well, good morning, my friends, and welcome to our Bible reflection for today. It is Thursday. Hope you're having a good week. Hope you're enjoying the sunshine, which is outside today, and thank you for being with us today. Friends, we're continuing our way through the first book of Samuel, and it's a good narrative, isn't it? And today we're in 1 Samuel and chapter 10, all about Saul becoming king. So here we go, 1 Samuel chapter 10. Samuel took a vial of oil and poured it on Saul's head and kissed him. He said, "The Lord has anointed you ruler over his people Israel. You shall reign over the people of the Lord, and you shall save them from the hand of their enemies all around. Now this shall be a sign for you that the Lord has anointed you ruler over his heritage. When you depart from me today, you will meet two men by Rachel's tomb in the territory of Benjamin and Zelzah. They will say to you, 'The donkeys that you went to seek are found, and now your father has stopped worrying about them and is worrying about you, saying, "What shall I do about my son?" Then you shall go on further there and come to the oak of Tabor. 3 men going up to God at Bethel will meet you there, one carrying 3 kids, another carrying 3 loaves of bread, and another carrying a skin of wine. They will greet you and give you 2 loaves of bread, which you shall accept from them. After that, you shall come to Gibeath Elohim, at the place where the Philistine garrison is. There, as you come to the town, you will meet a band of prophets coming down from the shrine with harp, tambourine, flute, lyre, playing in front of them, and they will be in a prophetic frenzy. Then the Spirit of the Lord will possess you, and you shall be in a prophetic frenzy along with them, and be turned into a different person. Now when these signs meet you, do whatever you see fit to do, for God is with you. And you shall go down to Gilgal ahead of me, then I shall come down to you to present burnt offerings and to offer sacrifices of well-being. 7 days you shall wait until I come to you and show you what you shall do." As he turned away to leave, As he turned away to leave Samuel, God gave him another heart, and all these signs were fulfilled that day. When they were going from there to Gibeah, a band of prophets met him, and the Spirit of God possessed him, and he fell into prophetic frenzy along with them. When all who knew him before saw how he prophesied with the prophets, the people said to one another, "What has come over the son of Kish? Is Saul also among the prophets?" A man of the place answered, "And who is their father?" Therefore it became a proverb, "Is Saul also among the prophets?" When his prophetic frenzy had ended, he went home. Saul's uncle said to him and to the boy, "Where did you go?" And he replied, "To seek the donkeys. And when we saw they were not there, we went to Samuel." Saul's uncle said, "Tell me what Samuel said to you." Saul said to his uncle, "He told us that the donkeys have been found." But about the matter of the kingship, of which Samuel had spoken, he did not tell them anything. Samuel summoned the people to the Lord at Mizpah and said to them, "Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, I brought up Israel out of Egypt, and I rescued you from the hand of the Egyptians and from the hand of the Egyptians that were oppressing you. But today you've rejected your God, who saves you from all your calamities and your distresses, and you have said no, but set a king over us. Now therefore present yourselves before the Lord by your tribes and by your clans." Then Samuel brought all the tribes of Israel near, and the tribe of Benjamin was taken by lot. He brought the tribe of Benjamin near by its families, and the family of Matrites was taken by lot. Finally, he brought the family of the Matrites near man by man, and Saul, the son of Kish, was taken by lot. But when they sought him, he could not be found. So they inquired again of the Lord, "Did the man come here?" And the Lord said, "See, he's hidden himself among the baggage." When they ran and brought him from there, when he took his stand among the people, he was head and shoulders taller than any of them. Samuel said to all the people, "Did you see the one whom the Lord has chosen? There is no one like him among all the people." And all the people shouted, "Long live the king!" Samuel told the people the rights and duties of the kingship, and he wrote them in a book and laid them before the Lord. Then Samuel sent all the people back to their homes. Saul also went to his home at Gibeah, and with him went warriors whose hearts God had touched. But some worthless fellows said, "How can this man save us?" They despised him and brought him no present, but he held his peace. Now Nahash, king of the Ammonites, had been grievously oppressing the Gadites and the Reubenites. He would gouge out the right eye of each of them and would not grant Israel a deliverer. No one was left of the Israelites across the Jordan whose right eye Nahash, king of the Ammonites, had not gouged out. But there were 7,000 men who had escaped from the Ammonites and had entered Jabesh Gilead. And this is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Okay, so Israel now has a new king, and Samuel has, God has told Samuel who it's to be. But I think sometimes in life we need that bit of extra encouragement, that bit of extra reassurance that what we're doing is right. The classic one I was thinking of, there's loads of this in the New Testament, is when those shepherds saw those angels on the hills that night, telling them that the newborn king had been born. It's interesting. How were they to know the following day that it wasn't last night's curry, or it wasn't, some vision they were having, or something they'd been smoking, or whatever on the hill? How were they to be reassured? And that's where the manger comes in, because the angel said to them, "And this will be a sign for you. Go to Bethlehem, and when you find a house, and Bethlehem wasn't a very big place, with a baby in a manger, you'll know this is the one. You'll know that it's true." And that's exactly what they did, and that's why they rejoiced, because they had that reassurance from God that this was correct. And this is the case here, I think, with Samuel, with Saul. Samuel anoints him, puts oil over his head, which is the kind of way of saying this is the man. But he gives him 3 bits of reassurance. First thing he has to do is he meets somebody who says, you reassure you that your father is not looking for the donkeys anymore. 3 blokes bring some bread, and also meet some people in a prophetic frenzy as well. So 3 signs Saul is given to reassure him that this is actually right. And later on, they do the thing. They draw the lots, and they go from the whole of Israel. And the lots pull out the smallest tribe, which is Benjamin, and from which they pull out the Matrites, from which they pull out Saul. And so there are 4 signs here that this is the right thing to do, that God is in this. And sometimes in life, especially when we're making a big change, when God wants us to do something big, it is reassuring to know from God this is actually the case, and it's kind of important for them. And if you think about it from Saul's point of view, one day Saul, as a boy, young man or whatever, went out to go looking for his dad's donkeys, and he comes home a king. You can imagine what the family would have made of that. Imagine what he'd have made of that. He went to start one day he's an ordinary boy, looking for donkeys, and he comes back and he suddenly finds he's king over Israel. That's what you call quite a day. And for that bit of reassurance, it is right for Samuel and for Saul and for the people around to have the reassurance that God is in it. And in life, sometimes we need that bit of reassurance that God shows us that what we're doing is right. I think there's another reason, though, here. Saul is also, I think you can pick up Aaron's here, he's quite a kind of insecure bunny as well, really. There's that odd little bit in the middle, in verse 14, when he's seen the signs, in the sense that he's met the prophetic frenzy, he's had the loaves of bread, and he's met the people who said your dad's not looking for you anymore. He's had 3 signs already, and his uncle says to him, kind of, what's going on here? And Samuel and Saul tells his uncle, they're not finding all about the donkeys, but doesn't mention the king bit. I think that's quite interesting, that Saul hasn't quite owned up to it yet. And later on, you get this kind of funny thing where when they draw lots over for the person, and so they pick the smallest tribe, which is the Benjamins, and Benjaminites. Then they pick the family Matrites. Then they go for Saul, and they can't find him because he's hiding among the bags. I mean, he's hiding away. I think it's really cool. I think it's meant to be quite funny there. This great big bloke who's head and shoulders over everybody else hides among the bags. I think it's quite funny. So in here you see Saul's understandable, I think, insecurity, not prepared to own up to his uncle, and later on hiding among the bags and not me, anyone else but me, kind of thing. But through this, and you get God's reassurance, and then you get more, so you go all the way through this. The people need to know that this is the right person. I think Samuel, who clearly isn't keen at all on the process of Israel having a king, I think he needs the reassurance. The people need the reassurance, and Saul needs the reassurance too. That they know objectively that what they're doing is right, and what they're doing is God's will, and God reassures them. But I think also, when we have times of insecurity in our lives, in our ministries, and so on, in our Christian lives, we need that bit of extra reassurance too. And especially when it's difficult. I mean, I've had some times in my ministry when life has been tough and life has been particularly challenging. The knowledge in your heart that God called you to this makes all the difference. There was a time in my ministry a few years ago when I thought my ministry was hanging by a thread. I remember going into a chapel and praying to God, look, my ministry hangs by a thread, you know, I'm in your hands here. But the reassurance that God had been with me, that God had called me to that place, and the reassurance that God was still with me was ultimately all I needed to know. And especially when times are tough, and there's clearly, there's echoes at the end where there's clearly going to be a confrontation with this nasty Ammonite, Nahash at the end. There's clearly going to be a confrontation then. And Saul is new, and Saul is young, and Saul's insecure. And like all of us, need that bit of reassurance. And in this chapter, you see God giving it. Friends, I hope you found that helpful. Have a lovely day. God bless you. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. Enjoy your Thursday. Enjoy the sunshine, and more soon. Bye.